But it will be Brondial jumping it up against Japet to start this ballgame. Kilingen, Oliva, Peclaro, and Austero are our referees for this matchup. Good scramble on the recovery for Barangay Ginebra, but they leave Marcio open. He drains it from deep, and when he gets himself going, SMB turns into another monster altogether.
Well, especially on that
Player in their win, even though he did most of his damage in the first half, that was all they needed to get some separation. CJ versus Malonzo this time. The quick crossover and the kill. Layup, a beauty for CJ Perez. Scotty, the swing. Three-point attempt. Won't work for Holt, but the ball lands to Japet, who secures that short jumper.
He's also another important player for Barangay Ginebra to get off early. And that's something that we have seen in that previous game where he, in the second quarter alone, he was already able to produce.
Top ball screen action, Junmar against Japet. Elbow jumper, sweet for Fajardo. And you can see that he is starting out more aggressively here in this game.
The most important thing is to be able to hit those perimeter jumpers for Junmar because it lessens the banging underneath.
Yep. Less effort. As the ball will stay with Barangay Ginebra. That was tapped, legal to pick up by Stephen Holt. Japet, the swing to the corner. Attacking the closeout is Scotty. He goes to the step back. The jumper is pure. 6 points early for Scotty.
Both teams starting out on a good note here.
That's a prime-time move from Scotty, really. Ball screen action once again. Another pocket pass. The extra pass down low. Great recovery, though, on defense for Marcio Lassiter. CJ in between the defense, and he sends it home.
I just love that hang time move. And despite that contact, he was still able to finish and kiss it off the glass.
4-point advantage for Barangay Ginebra. That pass lands with Japet, and that shot has been available all game long. Another putback from Troy Rosario. Marcio on the move. Lassiter still with it. Brondial will launch straight away. Three is gone.
You know, he's not really known for that, but if he's got to take it, he's got to take it.
Against this matchup, the skip pass. And now Brondial inside. He kicks it out to Ross. Quick hands coming from Barrientos. But there's a recovery from San Miguel. A completed stop now. And now it is 24-22, a 2-point lead for Barangay Ginebra. Good find coming from Barrientos, and another bucket from Troy Rosario, who has come to play here in Game 4.
He's very productive in this game. We were just talking about his output so far in the series. And look at how Troy has already erupted in this game with 8 points.
Bit of a zone coming from Barangay Ginebra. And Chris Ross will not be able to beat them. Trollano, turnaround jumper just before the buzzer sounded to end the first quarter of the action. A good one. It finds the pass towards Chris Ross. And now Jericho pulling the trigger from downtown. The three is good for Cruz.
Oh, he's another guy who is definitely a steady presence coming off the bench.
Work with in this possession. Jericho measuring up the defense of Barrientos. Three-point shot, another one.
Oh, Jericho. Like that, they have to be hungrier for that basketball, especially that they're down in the series. The step back jumper from the three.
As we have Ahan Misi creating, he sends it to the corner. Barrientos hangs midair and converts.
That's greatness right there for RJ. There's a lot of greatness when you have that last name, Carlo. And look at the way.
Junmar trying to get position inside. Jeron says, why? I'm here and I am going all the way.
You have a guy who doesn't really get that much playing minutes, but is a great scorer. Once he tastes blood because of the...
Goes back to Troy on the repos. Great scrambling defense from SMB. But they leave Scotty momentarily open, and he drains it from downtown.
Oh, there were two guys already on Scotty Thompson. He still hit that outside shot.
Japet takes matters into his own hands, dumps it off. The high looper is good for Ahan Misi.
You gotta admire the ball handling skills of Japet Aguilar to be able to keep his head up and find that extra pass to Ahan Misi.
Lead shifts back to Barangay Ginebra. Quick pass inside. That's too deep. Oh, but a good recovery on defense. A block from behind. Not pull the trigger just yet. Maverick against a big. He has speed advantage all day versus Tautua. Mav creates contact. Deep layup is good. I'm just putting it out there. Is if Stephen Holt was assessed the foul earlier as Marcio hits his three. If it was a foul on Holt earlier, again, that's just how it happens sometimes. Deep seal, but a miss from Troy Rosario. And now SMB looking for the lead. Oh, the defense did not commit to CJ Perez. Barrientos was right there, but maybe he could not match with the speed of the PBA's apex predator.
The rule is to sprint down on defense, and that's you have to guard those guys off transition first.
Quicker than Troy. He sets up a pass to Marcio. Continued on to the corner. Defense is right there. Wami for three. It's good to take the lead for SMB.
Beautiful patience there on the part of San Miguel. They had Junmar on target on that low post, but once he started to back down, the other player, this Wami Chongson, going for that handoff.
Sneaky pass inside. Tip in. It's good at the buzzer. And I believe there was a whistle as well. I heard a whistle.
Now that Ginebra offense has really been very fluid, getting a lot of those open looks and those opportunities for the rest of the team to score.
Basket is good for Troy Rosario, and then a foul right before the buzzer will be called against CJ Perez. Gets a start here in the third quarter, taking the place of Marcio Lassiter, and immediately makes an impact, getting the lead back for SMB on the layup. Goes to CJ Perez against Scotty. Screen rejected by CJ. He takes the three and he cans it.
That's how great a scorer he is. It would seem that the defense was just right there, 5-on-5, and yet he was still able to find a way to score.
Second player in double digits for the San Miguel Beermen after the 10 of Jeric Cruz. Now Perez with 12. A counter-attack block from behind though from Junmar Fajardo. Stop for SMB. Chapet against Junmar. Hand off to Holt. The screen, the pass stolen by Fajardo. Forward pass now to Jericho. Jericho is gone. Adjustment coming from Coach Leo Austria. Injecting Jericho Cruz as a starter here in the third quarter, already paying dividends as they now extend their lead to its biggest of this ball game, forcing a timeout from Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel.
However, he pointed out the need to tighten up on defense, especially locating Ginebra shooters like Scotty Thompson, which starts with stronger individual defense. Now, gentlemen, just a quick update on Andre Cahilig.
He has already called the number of RJ Barrientos to check in at the next opportunity. Good extra pass, a bucket down low.
Coach Tim doesn't really want that, get some easy baskets off transition.
Fajardo. Good pass. Again, they caught the defense on the weak side, napping. Too easy. Buckets coming from Rodney Brondial.
Despite those two timeouts, Carlos, so far the defense of Barangay Ginebra is not there.
RJ Barrientos goes inside. The layup is good with a foul on Brondial.
RJ Barrientos trying to spark things up here for Barangay Ginebra. So a lot of positive things really happening, most especially when they're trying.
And trapping CJ Perez, slowing down the defense, or the offense rather. Meanwhile, Brondial hits his second triple of the game. It's in that kind of quarter. Not work out for CJ. One more try. This time it's good for two.
He's just so scrappy. CJ Perez is the one who engineered this big uproar here for San Miguel in the third.
17-point lead for the San Miguel Beermen. Malonzo couldn't bank it home. Even as this initial defender dropped to the ground already, still could not buy a bucket. And now Ross launches and misses from deep. Barangay Ginebra looking for a spark. Who can provide it to them? Jericho with another stop. Cruz hits the brakes. Oh, wanted to go to CJ, but he is blocked from behind.
We had an open look already there. He could have even gone straight to the lane. He wanted to be
successful. They might be hoping for the final shot attempt of this third quarter. SMB coaching staff reminding their squad that they have fouls to give. They can be extra aggressive.
Oh,
and that's
look at that.
exactly what Chris Ross does. And he is gone.
You know, again, that basket is coming off great defense on one end. That can fuel your run here in the fourth.
4 bench players and 1 starter for Coach Tim Cone. And CJ Perez just completely locked up Maverick Ahanmisi. Another fast break drive. Levis scored a high looper.
It's a long time, Carlo. A lot of things can still happen for Barangay Ginebra.
Jeron against Aguilar. Lefty layup. What a confident shot from Jeron.
You know, a lot of us were really talking about Jeron, you know, sitting on the bench most of the time. But that scorer's mentality never left Jeron, even from college to here in the PBA.
3-point shot is good for Jamie Malonzo. As Jeron locates Ross from the corner. 3-point shot is down.
That's a big, big help there if you could get Chris Ross again to start hitting his outside shots.
And San Miguel Beermen were sure that it will not be another three-point performance coming from them here in Game 4 as Raymond Aguilar answers right back. Like this matchup earlier versus Raymond Aguilar. Another outside shot for Jeron. A couple of misses from him from the same space. Malonzo hesitated and then pulled the trigger, knocks it down one more time.
He wants to continue that aggressiveness on offense.
You know, any shot from inside the shaded area is a good shot for Jeron Teng. But when he starts settling for the outside shots, then SMB might have some problems. Fajardo against 2 defenders. Troliano with it. Yongson. CJ on the drive. The jackknife finish. Connects once again. Yeah.
They would still lose a handle on that ball, thus leading to a turnover.
Wami Chongson knocks down another 3, and then all of that momentum built by Barangay Ginebra countered by another spurt from SMB. 21-point lead now. Tenorio going baseline, kicks it out. Nards Pinto gets it back off the handoff. Nard steals one against Junmar. Or Scotty, even Stephen Holt. Again, if they made one of those 3-point shots to cut it down to 13, then maybe we will see them play once again.
Yes.
But right now, I think he's just waiting for his bench to do something drastic before giving some minutes to his starters once again.
You know, he needs to see also some positive things happening on the floor.
CJ quickly on the other side, no need to rush as they have a fat 19-point advantage in this ball game with less than 4 minutes remaining. Junmar, the quick pass inside, Troliano denied by Malonzo.
Especially in that third quarter and how scrappy San Miguel was on trying to get into the passing lanes.
So Don Troliano knocking down a triple. So from the top scorer of Game 3 now, he's at 7 points. Again, no need for him to do any kind of damage as his teammates had it under complete control. And again, going back to that one change coming from Coach Leo Austria. Jericho Cruz starting in the third quarter. That was the big difference maker in this game.
Yes.
And we often talk about the offensive boys and forcing Barangay Ginebra to shoot lower than 30%, limiting them to just 12 points in the entire third quarter. And they will not be threatened here in the fourth. Meanwhile, LA Tenorio, once again, the entire story of this series. The adjustments, the counter adjustments. Barangay Ginebra won first as Don Troliano hits a 4-point shot. SMB had counters to dominate Game 2. Barangay Ginebra won Game 3. SMB once again made their adjustments to make sure that the series is level. To determine who will move forward to the finals of the PBA 49 season Philippine Cup.
There's been a game of adjustments, Carlo, and definitely we will see more adjustments coming into the next game of this series.